Hello, boys and girls. Today is Friday, May 15th, and the story that I'm going to read to you today is called Young Cam Jansen and the Lost Tooth. It's actually kind of a long one, so we'll see if we get through all of it. It made me think of this because I saw a couple of you this week who had actually lost teeth. So that's something that I thought about. This one says, Cam Jansen is not silly. Gobble, gobble, Cam Jansen said. She held up her turkey stick puppet. Gobble, gobble, she said again. Eric Shelton smiled. When my puppet is finished, our turkeys can play together, he said. Cam and her friend Eric were sitting at table 4 in art class. Annie and Robert were at the table too. It was almost Thanksgiving. On the table were paper, crayons, glue, scissors, string, beads, and feathers. There were also bowls of apples and popcorn. Robert said, playing with paper turkeys is silly. It is not silly, Cam said. It's fun. Eric told Robert, Cam Jansen is not silly. She is very smart. She has an amazing memory. Cam can remember everything she sees. Robert said, I don't think so. No one can remember everything. Cam looked at the necklace Annie was making. Cam closed her eyes and said, click. Why did you say that? Robert asked. My memory is like a camera, Cam told him. I have a picture in my head of everything I have seen. Click is the sound my camera makes. I don't think so, Robert said again. Cam smiled. Her eyes were still closed. The beads on Annie's necklace are yellow, blue, red, red. You're peeking, Robert said. Cam turned around and went on. Green, blue, white, black, red, red, blue, and green. You're right, Robert said. You do have an amazing memory. Cam's real name is Jennifer, but because of her great memory, people started to call her the camera. Then the camera became just Cam. My necklace is done, Annie said. She put it on. Then Annie took an apple from the bowl. She bit into it. Oh, Annie screamed, my tooth. Chapter 2, My Tooth is Gone. Annie ran to the sink. Eric ran with her. He gave Annie a cup of water. Annie washed out her mouth. Then Eric gave her a paper towel. Annie held the towel to her mouth and returned to the table. You're lucky, Robert told her. I lost a tooth once. I put it under my pillow. When I woke up, I'd found my money there. Annie took the towel from her mouth. That happens in my house too, she said. Annie looked in the paper towel. She ran to the sink and looked there too. Then she came back to the table. My tooth is gone, she said. Mr. Fay, the art teacher, took the large bell off his desk. He rang the bell. Ding, ding, ding. It's cleanup time, he called out. Cam put the crayons in the box. Eric put the feathers away. Robert picked up the scraps of paper. He put them in the recycling bag. Annie was under the table. She was looking for her tooth. Mr. Fay came to table 4. You did good work, he said. Thank you, Cam, Eric, and Robert said. Annie looked out from under the table. She said thank you, too. Mr. Fay picked up Cam and Eric's turkey stick puppets. These look almost real. He shook Cam's puppet and said, gobble. He shook Eric's puppet and said, gobble, gobble. Then he put the puppets down and went to another table. Cam and Eric picked up the beads. Hey, Eric said, these white beads look like teeth. Annie's tooth must be in this box. Annie crawled out from under the table. Eric and Annie looked through the box of beads, but they didn't find Annie's tooth. Chapter 3, Click. Cam, Eric, and Annie gave their smocks to Robert. He took them to the closet and hung them up. Mr. Fay rang the bell again. Ding, 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 it's time to go back to class, he said. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Children from the other tables walked out of the art room, but Annie said, I can't go back. I still don't have my tooth. Don't worry, Eric told her. Cam and I will help you. You will find your tooth. We are good at finding things. We are good at solving mysteries. Cam closed her eyes. She said, click. She said, click again. Then she opened her eyes. I know where to find your tooth. Come with me, Cam said. Cam went to the closet. Annie, Eric, and Robert followed her. Ding, ding, ding. Mr. Fay rang the bell again. You should be on your way to class, he said. Oh, Mr. Fay, Annie said, I lost my tooth. Cam said, and I know where to find it. Cam closed her eyes. Click. I am looking at a picture I have in my head. It is a picture of Annie when she lost her tooth. She was wearing an art smock with a big front pocket. I think Annie's tooth fell into the pocket. Annie found her smock. She reached into the pocket. She took out 2 beads and a feather. What else is in there? Cam asked. Nothing, Annie answered. There were tears in her eyes. I still don't have my tooth. Chapter 4. Wake Up Cam. Cam, Eric, Annie, and Robert left the art room. Robert says, I don't think you can just say click and find a tooth. The children went into their classroom. It was quiet reading time. Cam opened her book, but she did not read. She was thinking about Annie's tooth. Cam closed her eyes and said, click. Please read quietly, the teacher said. Cam whispered, click. She whispered, click again. She sat for a long time with her eyes closed. She thought about Annie's tooth. Ring, ring. The school bell rang. It was time to go home. Wake up, Cam. Wake up, Eric said. It's time to go home. Cam opened her eyes. I was not sleeping. I was thinking about Annie's tooth, but I don't know where it is. Cam said, we have to get our coats and lunch boxes. We have to get on the bus. Cam looked at Eric. Lunch boxes, Cam said. She closed her eyes. Click. Cam quickly opened her eyes. That's it. I know where to find Annie's tooth. Annie, Annie, Cam called. We have to go to the art room. Chapter 5. Here's your tooth. Eric took his coat and Cam's coat from the closet. He took their lunch boxes too. Cam and Annie went into the hall. Wait for me, Eric called. Come on, Annie, Robert said. Let's go to the bus. Not now, Annie told him. We have to go get my tooth. Robert shook his head and said, I don't think so. Then he went outside to the bus. Cam, Eric, and Annie went to the art room. Mr. Fay was carrying garbage cans. Wait, Cam called out. Don't throw away Annie's tooth. Cam found the garbage can from table 4. She reached into it and took out an apple. Only 1 bite was missing. This was your apple, Cam said, and here is your tooth. Cam gave Annie the apple. Thank you, Annie said to Cam. Annie took the tooth out of the apple. She put it in a paper towel. Annie put the towel in her pocket. Cam told Annie, you should thank Eric too. He helped me find your tooth. When Eric said lunch boxes, I thought about eating. When I thought about eating, I thought about the apple. That's when I knew where to find your tooth. Annie thanked Eric. Eric gave Cam her coat and lunchbox. If we don't hurry, we will miss our bus. Cam, Eric, and Annie ran outside. The bus was still there. I want to leave, the driver said, but Robert asked me to wait. Cam, Eric, and Annie thanked Robert and the driver. Annie told Robert, Cam clicked and found my tooth. Robert smiled. I knew she would find it, he said. I just knew it. Okay, thank you, boys and girls, and we'll read another one next time.